Tehran is the first arrival point for many. The city is quite hectic and does not have as much history as the cities we're going to talk about. The bazaars in Tehran are amongst my favorite places. Whether you arrive by plane or car, I suggest you take a snap taxi, which is similar as Uber, because driving in Iran is not easy. It is the most crowded city of the whole country. Besides the bazaars, there are several other sights to see. And also there are many traditional restaurants. If you want, you can try to smoke the local shisha. Kashan is the first city ever established in Iran and thus has the most historical buildings. It is by far my favorite city in Iran. The Maranyab Desert is about an hour drive away from the city of Kashan. You can drive there yourself or go with a tour company. In the desert, you're very likely to cross camels. After about 30 kilometers off the normal road, you get to a caravanserai. Isfahan is famous for their bridges, like the Kaju Bridge. As in any town, you'll find beautiful mosques, bazaars, and restaurants. Between Isfahan and Yazd is the Farzana Desert. I stayed in an abandoned caravanserai for a night. Yazd is a city surrounded by deserts, and that's why architecture has been able to survive the longest here, as it has not suffered many attacks in the past. For an example, this mausoleum from the 11th century. On the way to Shiraz is Persepolis, an ancient city once built for a king. The ruins are pretty impressive. Shiraz really has a lot to offer. There are many buildings from kingdoms a couple hundred years ago. The Pink Mosque is one of the most famous attractions in Shiraz, especially famous at photographers around 8 in the morning because of the beautiful light that shines through the windows. The bazaar is a little different from previous seen bazaars because it's built with brick, limestone and chalk. Kish Island is the third most visited vacation destination in Southwest Asia, next to Dubai and Sharm el-Sheikh. The underground city is really beautiful to see. And also the Greek ship. Beaches to swim are separate for men and women. It's a nice island for a short visit, but I personally prefer the nearby and bigger Gezem Island. Gezem Island is many times bigger than Kish Island and has more to offer nature-wise. Beautiful shapes made by nature due to eruption at the Shaku Valley and at the Stars Valley. Also here you'll meet some camels. Tabriz. I personally found the Constitutional House of Tabriz an interesting place to visit, as this house, which is now a museum, tells you the story about the Iranian Revolution. There's also, like everywhere else in Iran, beautiful street art. There are a few nice spots around Tabriz. The colorful mountains are something you definitely should not miss. Possibly Lake Urmia, which is dry for the most part, and Kandovan village, where houses are made in rocks. If you're interested to see some of the nature of Iran, I suggest you check out the Valbut waterfall. the Badab-e sewage spring, and Mount Damavand. All these places are between half an hour and a few hours away from Tehran. The Valash Lake between Tehran and the Caspian Sea, the Rutkin Castle close to Rasht, the Sahulan Cave a few hours away from Tabriz, and Lake Zarivar close to the Iraq border. Iran is the 9th largest country of the world, so get ready for different seasons. Traveling is actually pretty easy in Iran if you can get a visa. There are comfortable buses going in the evening and several times a day from city to city for around $5 US. Inland flights are around $25 US. Traveling in Iran is pretty cheap. A plate of food costs on average between $1.50 and $2.50 in a restaurant. A hotel room between $10 and $15. But if you're a good negotiator, you get it cheaper. A snap taxi for 5 kilometers costs around 50 cents. If you drive your own car, a full tank of 10 gallon or 40 liters diesel costs around $2. Yeah, you hear that right. That's about 5 cents per liter. You do need a local to help you because you need a prepaid card to get gas and foreigners can't get one. You'll get invited many times into a local family's house, and you should consider taking that invite at least once. The Iranian people are extremely friendly, and I have not felt any danger anywhere in the whole country, whether I was walking in the streets of the big cities or sleeping in my van.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Welcome to City Shiraz.
Thank you. Iran friendly country?
Yeah. I can speak English calm.
Your English very good.
No.
Thank you. Thank you very much.